Yeah.
Okay, let me do the official.
Yeah.
I'll call the meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. Let's open with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That would have never flown at CCAO. And they'll start the board meeting. It only takes about half the time we just did.
Yeah.
If you don't get started,
Yeah.
with them. Mike's hiding behind you.
There's Gwen. Oh, there she comes. Morning, Gwen. Good morning, Gwen. No, she can't hear us. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I had to get my
That's okay.
time adjusted.
Okay. All right.
See, we did win the lottery once, and Gwen probably took the money, and that's where she's at.
Yeah, Christie's jealous of your background.
Yeah.
Well, I can change it if we want to look normal. There we go.
I was going to say, where your background, where is that along the Maumee River?
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Look down, like down by Cole Cemetery.
Yeah, probably the trees are falling into the river.
Yeah. The sheriff's here. I think you can see Gwen.
Yep, I can see him. Sir.
Let's chat about the request to have a sign in the courthouse yard as well as the protest. And I'll let you, since we're going to depend on you for the legal advice, I'll just let you take off on this.
So, Katie and I did some quick research last night, and we cannot find anything where it specifically says no or yes within reason. Obviously, if there's a sign that's, FU something or other, I think we would be able to discuss that with them. But because it's not a sign inviting silence or enticing or violence, then our interpretation is that can be permitted.
Okay. Can we put any kind of
Why don't you get up there so she can see? Scoot forward.
I can't see, Bob.
Is there anything we can do to kind of regulate what they put in there, like get a permit from us before? Or can anybody just walk up to our courthouse and put a sign in it?
Well, the quick research that we have done, we really can't regulate it. Obviously, I think we can discuss with him about, the time frame that sign would be up there, and this last one, because of the wind and everything else, it got to look kind of tattery, so I think we can discuss with them the length of period that it can be up there.
Right. Also something that I thought about, with the fence posts that were used, and it may be something else another time. If they get them deep enough, they may hit utilities.
Well, that's yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
And of course, we don't know where everything's at. And Bob, Tom, and I had this discussion about signs.
Yeah.
It was early on when I became commissioner, probably the first year in 2013, and we kind of kicked the can down the road, honestly.
Yeah.
We really
were talking about it again.
We didn't really have a good example of a policy. I thought there could be a happy medium somewhere of allowing signs. I know there's some counties that just say nothing.
Right, and because we don't have a policy, that's also taken into consideration. So for the future, you may want to look at that of establishing a policy that allows for, like you say, zero signs or signs, because some of the case law we found is there are policies that limit like how big they can be, those types of things, but we have no policy, so therefore our interpretation of the research we've done is we can't prohibit this. And it's First Amendment.
Yeah, right,
we have to be careful with that policy that you have too. if you decide you're going to get a policy.
Okay,
That's
that's
what
what
we can do. As long as the words are not, abusive, swear words, that type of thing.
Or that they are not inciting violence.
Yeah, violence,
You're
yeah.
gonna put basically
And
what
maybe-
the other one was, as far as that.
Yeah. There's a movie called American President, and there's a wonderful quote in there about, people with the opposing opinion, that you still have to allow them to voice their.
Everybody has that right, yeah.
Exactly, and I was gonna look that up, and I forgot.
Yeah, and that was my actually concern, so we can write a policy then?
You can write a policy, but it has to be a policy, like, you can't write one that will allow a garage sale sign
Right.
versus it's not going to allow a First Amendment sign. You can write a policy that dictates how big, how long you want it up, those kind of things, but you can't limit the content of those signs.
Okay, no, you wouldn't want to do that.
The city's sign policy, because they have restrictions and specifications. Would these fall under that?
Since it's on our property?
Well, the problem is it's in the city, but it's on public property, and the county owns that property.
Yeah. We'll look up, I'm pretty sure Glen Corsa has a sample policy,
Okay.
and we'll look that up, and if you would have a chance, would you check with Prosecutors Association, see if maybe they do.
Absolutely.
And we can get something put together, where it's workable, it still allows people, their freedom of speech, and it also allows us some protection, of
public property.
Public property.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. Yep,
that
can
sounds
do.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike?
Did you see the latest tweet last night about forcing you and I and Chief Matt to commit to investigating and prosecuting whoever stole that sign?
I have not seen his tweet. I saw a tweet earlier yesterday from him that was, very kind of laid back about we have to stick up for him, and part of the reason he wanted the protest is because somebody took down the sign.
Right, I just wanted you to be aware of it, if they're gonna ask us to commit to that. First of all, we never put that sign up there, we've never got an official complaint to do an investigation. And if we don't know who the owner of that sign is, we have no victim. So I just wanted you to know that they're gonna bring this up, just so we're all on the same page with this. I have no problem in the investigation if there's a complaint filed.
After you're done with this meeting, can you stop over and see me, Sheriff?
Sure.
Because I don't know what tweet you're talking about. Maybe we can talk about that.
I have it on my phone.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, so will you contact, it's Derek Meinenberg, is that correct? Will you contact him?
Christie, just give me his number, because he called me and it was transferred in, so I don't know if that's actually his number.
I have it at the office, I can bring it over.
Okay.
Okay.
Me also.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All right, yeah, I'll contact him, Glenn.
Yeah, and, if anything else pops up, just let us know, but on our end, we'll begin looking for, a policy.
Something from.
And I'll put something on the OPA.
Yeah, okay, that would be wonderful. Jeff?
Nope, got a
plan.
Okay.
Okay.
That's scary, isn't it? Okay, Gwen, have a good day in court.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You gotta see ya.
Mike, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Okay.
You guys sit down on this.
Oh, I read that one this morning. That was my early morning reading. The comments on the post got kind of...
Yeah.
Well, it's a fine, this quote in the American President, I love.
Yeah.
It's even better than one of John F. Kennedy's. And, But I can never remember.
Yeah, what it says.
Yeah.
But basically, freedom of speech, and
It really is, and.
the only thing about this whole thing that scares me a little bit is, all of a sudden, we could have all kind of crap in that, if we don't control it a little bit.
You're right.
So,
But it is,
You could do that.
and
I never knew you could do that. Put signs up.
well, you know, our own, which like I told Glenn, when Shannon wants to put signs up for child awareness, and she asks, OSU, they ask, we're gonna put up a 4-H clover up there, you know, and say, can we do that? Yeah. Well, this guy just marches in there and
Yeah.
puts a sign up with no.
if I remember right, it was either 13 or 14 that Shannon asked, she said, before I do anything, I
Yeah,
want to know.
oh, I remember that, yeah.
Because I got that discussion
Yeah,
started.
yeah, I kind of forgot about that, we did talk about that though, yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah. Yeah.
so Christie, if you would check with Corsa, if you need to, call Frank, and, I have a couple comments about, the required training, but, you know, I'll tell the council when I see you the next time. But, yeah, and, we can also put out a blast on CCO on one of the things to find out what
Yeah.
counties have.
And they still got that thing, I don't know.
In the city, I'm almost certain they have sign policies. Because that's regulated.
And I don't, you know, but Gwen says, well, but that's our property, but if they have a signed policy for your yard, that's your property too, so.
Yeah,
And,
I wasn't gonna debate define issues,
Yeah.
but for example, George's Furniture, they always got one of those movable signs out
Mhm.
there. Well, I think if I remember right, the ordinance says 30 days. It's there for months and months and months. That's a sign on private property.
yeah,
But the city has,
Yeah.
it should be a codified ordinance.
yeah.
If you want to get a hold of Amanda and ask her about that.
I think that, yeah, that was.
Also, then, yeah,
And then we get some kind of an idea, we have to have some sort of an idea what we want to put in this policy, so that.
yeah, we get a copy of from Corsa.
Yeah, of our general one, yeah.
Also on a personal note for Amanda, tell her that she and Ken need to go over to that shoulder at the old Flood Sense building. Her dad used to work there. She will be impressed with what she sees.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. They're busy.
Is that the HPI?
No, HPI
Is it
is
Sherwin-Williams?
in
Sherwin-Williams,
Sherwin-Williams.
yeah.
Then, Enviroscape ECM is right across the street. That is Claude Sims.
Okay.
That's the newer, the really old building.
Yeah.
And then across the tracks to the south is the old Claude Sims.
Mm.
And Enviroscape is, they
Took
put
that over.
colored siding on it.
Really?
Just, yeah, when we went by,
I was impressed with that.
it really, they cleaned it up. There were some things out in front, they're cleaning that up, but they're re-siding and redoing the roof, and it's not going to look like an eyesore any longer.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
There was a point when we were gonna try to get it torn down, but hey, I'd rather somebody use it, it's way better.
Well, yeah, and if there were environmental issues, they know about it. I don't know if they bought the building or leasing it.
Yeah.
And the property taxes have always been current on it.
And I know they make grass mats for grass, but I wonder if they make other stuff like for soaking stuff, you know, when they soak up, environmental spills
I
and
don't-
stuff. I don't know if they do that or not.
That Enviroscape ECM, erosion control mat.
Erosion control mat, that one. Okay, maybe that's all they do then.
When they came from Oakwood, that's what they were doing.
That's what they were doing, yeah.
Mhm, yeah. So, and they would even go out and install them. I think they do some hydro seeding.
Yeah.
One of the brothers.
Okay.
They were just, it was an interesting business. It's been long enough now,
Yeah.
and, well, this was 2012 when I was dealing with it,
Yeah.
when they wanted to come to Henry County.
Yeah.
But they just kind of sat there,
I'm glad they're
quiet, and they just stay busy.
Yeah, just staying busy.
Anyway, sorry about that, Brad.
No problem.
We do have Brad Booth here from Henry County Transportation. We're kind of back on track on our agenda. We just had that issue come up later yesterday and needed to address. So, what you got for us?
Got about 3 different things here. We finally have with the CTS purchase, everything with that for the grant is finally good to go. Because we were going to meet in February about doing the purchase, and then they said, hold on, we don't have the 5339 contracts done yet. Don't buy anything, because if you purchase it, you may not get your grant funding. So then, we got...
Fortunately, we did it the right way, Tim.
Yeah, so we...
And for Jeff, this is the software that transportation uses. It's pretty robust. They can track the vehicles. They use MyPies on tablets to get data. It's back and forth from the vehicles. And to do this, to get going, Brad and Boxer worked real closely with ODOT on how to fund moving this to 5311, and said, just wait, they should be able to fund this. So the commissioners committed, we bought it. The commissioners own the software.
Well, we're going to. We're doing it as software as a service now.
Yeah.
So, but it will be, the commission, we're leasing it right now, and then the commissioners are gonna, that's what this is.
So we're just able to use it for any, if we want to, I thought it would be, while we were looking at it, appropriate to track the Meals on Wheels vehicles. We could track the sheriff's cars.
Yeah.
If they have whatever they need in there. Tim could track all his highway vehicles. So it's a pretty robust package. It does the routing, if you get all the correct parameters in.
Yeah, when we get everything in there, and we can do billing through it, we can auto schedule through it. Christopher and I went down, when did we go down? Last March or April, because we've been on it since July. We went to Southeast Area Transit, which is in Zanesville. They're a 3-county system, and they were running it. We went down and looked at it, came back and talked about it. Tracy watched a demonstration with us, and that's where I think Tracy came up with the idea of we should do it this way, because then we can track everybody, and we have a database. So, Tracy with his EMA thoughts on it is we have a system, we know if there's a disaster in the county, we know who's in wheelchairs, who's oxygen dependent, who's on dialysis, who gets Meals on Wheels, and then we can prioritize off of that, and then we can track, and we know who's in what area that we can pick them off in. So that was kind of his input on it.
And it's automated, number of the manual functions.
It's a lot nicer.
Yeah, and typically this kind of software, but any kind of management software, which is a real pain to get set up. Yeah. But if you get set up, you get it set up correctly. Once you get set up, oh my gosh.
So then we got 5339 approved, which we'd already been approved, we just got the contract. And then when they announced the budget cuts, they said that some of the OTP2 funding was going to be cut, which is it's a state grant, because the 5339 is federal. The OTP2 money is state money that helps with the local match. We had been awarded the OPT2 to pay our local match for the CTS, so it's not going to cost us anything. So we waited to make sure that our OTP2 funding didn't get pulled, and they emailed me last week and said, your funding didn't get pulled. We need to make sure we get this all done before the end of the fiscal year, that the money's all gone, because they've already allocated it. So she said that we are good to go.
The state acquisition business another week and a half.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure we got everything done.
Got to sharpen their pencils, use their electric staplers.
Yeah, no shit.
So I emailed ODOT person. We have a Schedule A for purchase with CTS that has the full amounts that are on here. The only issue that I could see was it was originally dated for February, and that we were gonna change the amount that we pay monthly in March. I didn't know if ODOT would accept that, so I wanted to make sure that that was good before we actually went through with signing this service agreement. So I gave you, you have a copy of it, Glenn.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that one. I forgot to make 4 copies of that, but that's, read that part real quick. I'm waiting to hear back from ODOT before we actually go through with the purchase, because I want to make sure that we have the correct service, everything is correct before we go through with anything on that, because I don't want to think that we're getting the full, because it's like $46,000.
Right.
I want to make sure that we do everything correctly, that we're getting that full $46,000 back.
And you've been, and Columbus has been really good to work with. You know, I'll take it.
Oh, he's got one more. He's got one.
Exceptionally easy to work with. And give advice is I really think they want to see, they already have, you know, Henry County has one of the premier transportation systems. It's a well-kept secret when we go out and start talking about it. I think it was a year ago, it was part of a discussion with the area office on aging, rural transportation, and telling Lucas County, you know, Erie, Sandusky, the service area of the area office, what we are doing. Nobody else is doing
We got something.
what we're doing. There's others that exist out there, like the Tuscarawas County, there's like that 3 counties together, very, very similar. But the state of Ohio, it's just my opinion, has, since Henry County has done very well and worked very well with the state, that they're helping as much as they can, you know, in every way to help make sure this becomes more of a regional type system, which is what one of the goals is to develop regional rural transportation. Organizations, I think we're...
And everybody's been pretty on board with what we're working on here. So with the purchase of that, and with that being paid with the commission, what we talked about before, of including that into the rent, on the second page I have all of the updated numbers from 19. Anna and Amanda worked on getting everything included on this to work out what the new rent would be. It came to about $7,700, $7,769.14. So when I did the projections, I put it at, if we did rent at $8,000 a month, I got the building space off of the auditor's office, because I couldn't remember what the square footage of the building was. It's 28,000.
No, sounds about right.
We've mapped it out one time, Steve and I thought it was 85 to 90% of the building that we're using. But if you put it that we're using 80% of the building, it's 22,000 square feet that we're occupying and using. And if we pay $8,000 a month using 22,000 square feet, comes out to 36 cents a square foot is our total amount for rent. And I looked at the sign when I came in. The Walmart building next door is looking at $1 a square foot. So I think that even with us paying the $8,000, we're still pretty well under what other places are charging, and that's able to get recouped through the grant. So that would cover all of this. Well, not all of it. It's 50%, so we're covering it 50-50
We wanted to maximize our return
Mhm.
from the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
And,
So I think that was, and we're able to, start that next month. If we wanted to bump that up to the 8,000, once we get the, once we go ahead with the purchase, that should move everything over, and we should be good, and then we can start paying the, 8,000 next month. And then we can start including that on our grant for the rest of the year.
Cover some of Steve's costs.
Because when I spoke with ODOT, we said Steve isn't a transportation employee, but he does a lot of work for transportation as far as the maintenance on our building, the mowing, the cleaning, anything outside. So we use him probably 40, what did we put in there? There's a percent. 25%. We said at least 25% of his total time is spent with us. When we asked ODOT, we said, what's the best way to do that? And they said if we did it, or if we actually paid, we had to do like what did they say we had to do? I can't remember what it was called now. Some kind of cost analysis, but they said if we just included in the rent that it was fine. And then we're able to do it that way. They said that's the cleanest way because all of our other utilities are actually paid for by the commissioners. They said we can just put that in as long as it's included in our lease, because we included some of IT and with the phone system and all of that.
Yeah, if it's like some of the stuff Tracy has to do next door, we had to provide a formula for how our phone cost was calculated.
Yeah.
And that's what you would end up.
That's what we would have ended up with.
And this is much, exactly.
This is
They said it's much cleaner. They said that, we just, our lease will stay, because we'll have to draw up another lease that has that in there that says, that we're including that.
And as far as call-in access, we doubled our available lines a couple months ago. So we should be in pretty good shape.
One thing that it's not something you really need to know, but we are talking about fixing these awnings out here, this summer yet, and then possibly, maybe, I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but painting the outside, and your front will get painted then, so, for that building, so we kind of want to put that one down on your radar, that'll come up, but.
And then the other thing I got told to talk about while I was coming down here is the doors. We had talked about fobbing the doors and doing that.
Still on the project list.
Steve wants to see if we can bump that up to as soon as possible, because the door on the east side, the wall is starting to, like if you open and close the door, it moves the wall, so we have to look at fixing that door.
Well, we need to get that fixed.
Yeah. Not necessarily fobbing all of the doors, but we need to get that one fixed.
Brutal honestly, every project we have it needs to be done right now. We have boxes of equipment sitting back here that there's not time to get the stuff installed. Board of Elections, the directive from the Secretary of State has just been overwhelming. And so it possibly this fall.
Okay.
And, we need to, that door has been like that for a long time. When we first started, well, even when, it was the cleaners, it moved the wall and the door slammed. And, I'm just afraid when you start tearing.
Which door is it? The one on this?
The east door, it's where the drivers come in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, almost is the bricks blue, or the bricks?
I think my guess is probably a stud wall.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be easy.
If it is, it would be.
That'd be
much
easier
easier.
fixed than.
And we had, and I don't know, also, we have a glass door somewhere that we had pulled out.
It's on the junk one down here, I think.
Yeah, on down, and that might be a thought to put something like that in. It would look a lot nicer than.
Yeah, so I'm open to anything on that.
It would still be the keyed lock until we can.
Yeah, until we do the fob, which is fine, but they were getting more concerned. I think the other issue is, I think because the door shifted, when you open it, sometimes it will catch, and people think that it's closing behind them, and we've had drivers walk in and they said, it's stuck.
It's done that all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's gotten worse.
Just let your drivers know when they come in to pull it, make sure to pull it close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if should we get Landry or somebody to look at that and rebuild that wall and, something will have to do.
Yeah, would you want to give Lindsay a call and see if she could have somebody, she could come over and take a look at the door, and then let Steve know, get that taken care of. Yeah, you just kind of had to about hold your mouth right
Well, it's not gonna get better on its own.
Yeah.
It's not growing roots.
No, so we'll get that fixed, and we have courthouse cameras and fobs and all that, good,
Yeah, so the rest of it, the fobbing I wasn't as worried about, but they said that, because I don't ever use that door, I always come into the office side, and they said that it's gotten pretty bad.
Yeah, and
So-
let's get the door fixed first.
And then the fob we can worry about.
Yeah, and then while we're
Later
working
on.
on it, Christopher can look at it, okay, here's what I'm going to need.
Mhm.
He'll know.
I think the wires already ran for the back door.
Probably.
When they did the sheriff's, the wiring's already there for that back door. So some of it is already set, so I think he knows, when we had talked before, he has a pretty good idea of what to do and what's over there.
I know he has looked. It will help just knowing what the construction is, what they put down through the wall. Yeah.
Okay. So that's all. Should I talk to Gwen about the lease, or who would we? Michael? Michael, okay. I'll talk to Michael about that, about going over that and getting it switched over to the 8,000. We can get that done.
And then we'll do a resolution. Because basically it's a contract we're agreeing to, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's everything on that. And then job description, what we were talking about doing is having 2 part-time driver job descriptions. Because right now, everybody is listed as intermittent part-time driver, which means that they're just whenever we need them. So they're not guaranteed, but also that makes it kind of hard to force them to work.
Yeah.
Just if they're available.
If they're available.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to look at doing is creating, and I'm not really sure on the wording of how this, and this would be a Jim Evans question, of keeping our intermittent part-time drivers for the, retired, that, they'll say, hey, I can work 2 days this week, and, the next 2 weeks I can't work, don't use me. We have a couple people that work on just a Friday night, every other Friday night or whatever. But then creating essentially like a full-time, part-time, where they know they're gonna get a little bit more hours and possibly paying them like $1 an hour more. That way we have a little bit more ability to get them to work the hours that we are lacking, the early mornings and some of the weekends. But also, giving them a extra $1 an hour.
So it really would be a full-time, part-time, is it more like a permanent part-time?
It's permanent part-time, I think would be the correct wording for it.
the job descriptions for someone that needs people for part-time.
Of just the people that are working the 20 to 30 hours a week, and they're, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working weekends and, doing that type of thing, of possibly paying like $1 an hour more to make it a little bit more enticing to do those hours.
Well, especially if they can't turn it down, if it's a
Yeah.
job, then you gotta move in.
Has it been a problem getting, is that why you're asking?
It's starting to again.
Okay.
It's that with everybody going back to work, the 6 o'clock time frame has expanded quite a bit. And with us doing some of the Fulton County Board of ED clients, there was a day, it might have actually been a Saturday, where we had an individual starting at 6 o'clock in Waterville, 6 o'clock in Swanton, 6 o'clock in Wasion, and 6 o'clock in Defiance. So, even when we're doing full regular transit with multiple people in the car, you can't do that. Like, you can't put any of them together because it just doesn't work. So you need 4 or 5 drivers.
So you had 4 drivers come in for like an hour
No.
on Saturday, you don't.
On that part, no, it was a full,
Oh, was it?
yeah. And that's when Mike and I ended up driving and piecing in there.
Now you have to go back and get them at the end of the shift.
Yeah, that 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock time frame is pretty busy, so it wouldn't be just for an hour. It's,
I was gonna say, 'cause you would probably have a part-time.
I'm just looking at, it's almost like a compact car, something that's really good on gas mileage, especially running, as one person. But that's probably also being subsidized by
DODD.
DD.
That's our contract with Triangular. So that, it gets covered so it's not losing us money, but it's just we're getting busier at those times, and it's harder to get drivers at that. So we wanted to.
When you're retired, I won't get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. And I don't blame,
I don't want to have to.
Yeah.
I may get up, but.
Unless you can't.
And and it's not anything against the drivers that we have, because, I understand, they're retired. Most of them don't need the money. They're doing it for something to do, and we had somebody that applied that said, I'm retired, I don't need the money, but I want to give back to the community, and I think that this is a good way to help, and I interact with people, which is great, but there's also that time where it's like, okay, it's Saturday at 6 o'clock in the morning, can I get you? No, I'm going out of town, and then some of the other ones, I got a golf scramble today, I got golf, I got this, and I understand that completely.
They're well intended.
Yeah,
But
and
you need, and that's the type of individuals you need, they're tough to find.
Yeah, and
But there's out there that like this all-hour stuff, and.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And we've never had a complaint, but I could see at some point where somebody would say, well, I'm making the same amount that they are, and they only work 2 days a week, and they work from noon to 5. And I'm getting up at 6 o'clock,
taking all the crap and running, yeah.
I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and coming in, and then I'm working weekends, and we make the same amount.
Yeah.
So, and with it,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to do, so I don't know exactly.
You could almost pay, weekends would be easy enough, you could pay $1 an hour more on the weekends, just because it's the weekend, and most generally, people have things planned for weekends, so if they're gonna give something up.
Is there a talk in the office, they would do it for $1 more, is there what, where does?
I haven't talked to the drivers yet.
I just don't know if you get somebody that would do it,
Does, the Tuscarawas, that group, Southwest?
Southeast area, I have not talked to them about it yet.
Yeah, the other side of the state. Yeah, and see if they have
I
a
know-
policy.
I don't know if they have a policy yet. I know, Chillicothe does, but they're also union. And they have
That's a good place, that is not a bad place to start,
Mhm.
at least to look at.
they figured it out already, if it's a union, they got a plan for that.
And, you know, something that came up earlier when this whole COVID thing, well, I'm on call. Well, you don't really have anybody technically on call, it'd be intermittent, and if they're available, they can work. They are not paid to stay, you know, within, you know, 20 minutes of, and, you know, we had an individual that was pushing that. So this would, hopefully, this type of policy would eliminate it.
Yeah.
I'm not on call. And to give them my hours that I would be available to do something, and
Well, and you can, and another thing that Job and Family Services, I've seen on their pay slips, they get so many dollars extra for the hours they're on call. So if they're sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring, they actually pay them a little, you know, it isn't full rate, but they pay them a little bit of money to sit there and wait, so that you'd have somebody just in case, and you're not paying them full wage, but you're paying them something.
Just hospital runs, just like pop up.
No, well,
Well, the hospital's been pretty dead lately.
the hospital's been pretty slow lately, but before the ER was free, I mean, we were getting
Yeah.
quite a bit of calls, but that, when we did the second and third shift, that alleviated a lot of that, with us going to,
This is a red letter day in history.
yeah, let's look into it, if we can get some.
I'll check with you, and I'll check with any, I'll put it out to the other directors just to see what they had, but that was kind of, I just wanted some input, see what you guys thought of.
Yeah.
That's what we were kind of looking at, to alleviate, we don't really have a full need for more full-time people, because right now we're at 3 full-time drivers, and that's worked out really well. So I don't think we really have a full need for the more full-time, but of doing something like that, because
Part-time, yeah.
just doing that part-time and maybe possibly paying a little bit more just to get that stuff covered, because it's starting to.
Managing people this way is much more difficult than having a full-time person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I can see your point, if you pay them a little bit more money, and now now when you call them, they can't say, no, I'm busy, well, you had so many hours.
So I didn't want to check with Kevin to see what they thought about that, because I think that would be, if we were doing premium hours and some of that stuff, it would be kind of hard for them to, I think it would make payroll processing a little bit harder for them. But it may not.
Not really, because Amanda's doing the payroll, so she would have to probably have a line, you know, if you pay that person all the time, it would just be their wage.
Yeah, they're doing this off-hour stuff, there would be an
Extra line.
you would stick in an additional line, because it's very possible you could work them, have them come in during considered normal hours, and there wouldn't be anything, you know, if it was just, they came in and they worked 8 hours, normal hours, and that's all they did, it would show that, okay, here's what they got.
The normal pay rate, and that's the other pay rate.
And then there would be nothing in them.
Yeah, that would just be two, because
Yeah.
at one time when Tracy got paid for grants or something, he was always entered in twice.
Yeah, or known as shift premium, particularly second and third shift, if you're running a shift operation. So, okay, well, yeah, when you've got something together, we can start.
So we have everything under control now. I mean, we're, as far as drivers and amounts of things, but with it starting to pick back up, and we wanted to kind of have an idea of what we were looking at before it got too.
And you still may be facing, for a while yet, your retired staff of not wanting to make runs yet.
Yep, I think we have
Until
two.
they, until they feel comfortable.
Feel safe.
Yeah, and that's what we've told everyone, if you don't, I understand if you don't want to come back yet, if you don't feel safe yet, that's totally understandable. So, we're good. And then, the other thing I just put on there, the top page is, what we applied for. That was due, the 27th, I think is when I entered that all in. So the total through 5311 was $704,697, and that 5311 number includes the 50/50 for operations and then 80/20 for capitalized maintenance. I think capitalized maintenance we applied for like $60,000, roughly. 5339 was all of the vehicles, replacement and expansion, and then the radios for the installation. And I've talked with Nick and Tracy about working with PNR to do the same radios that everybody else is on. So in the event of Tracy doing EMA activation, if they needed us, we would be able to all communicate.
Going on our 700 megahertz system.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We would just have a separate talk group, and that wouldn't interfere with that. But then if we were needed for something, we could be the talk group, and then it would be already in the vehicles, and we would have that taken
If
care
you have
of.
an emergency, you got it right there.
Yep, so everything is right there. And then we applied for the OTP2 for 83,000 of the 137 local match. If everything goes with the projections of what we have, we'll have enough in the reserve fund by the end of August to cover any local match that is not covered by OTP2. ODOT is currently letting us put 40% of our total budget into the reserve fund. So when we move it to the reserve fund, essentially doesn't count as income, and we can put it in there to pay for the local match and anything else we have in there. It used to be 20%, but because of COVID, they said that they were going to bump that up to 40%. Not sure how long that's going to last. At least this year, next year.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to have that.
At the end of this year.
Yeah, some of this, if this is actual, if it's non-federal money and state, next year maybe.
Yeah, that's all federal. The only state money would be the OTP2 money, and I can't remember. I think they had this year and maybe next year, because it runs in 2-year cycles.
Right.
I don't remember if they had this year and next year encumbered, or if it was just this year and then they were working on next year, or for the next 2 years.
We're in the second of the 2-year biennium.
Yeah, so this year was covered, so then it's the next 2 years.
Next year, no.
Yeah, so they're not sure what they're doing.
Things are gonna change.
21, start probably
The-
legislature in March.
Yeah, and it would be
Gonna change.
where we would see funding cut would be OTP2 funding, but there was some Fed money that came in for capital projects for this year and next year. So we'll see how that turns out. But,
Continue to capitalize on what grants that we can,
yeah, we've done the first 2 months of the CARES Act grants, and Amanda's been really good with that. She was emailing that in yesterday, and Todd from ODOT wrote back and said, "You're the first system that had it all done for April and May, so we're going to go over yours first, and you'll get paid first." So.
Now, if you submit, is that final, or if they find something that they don't agree with, do they let you know?
They let us know.
Do to change it?
Yeah, we can go back and adjust it.
And I would imagine Amanda's talked with Todd.
Yeah, she went
through the process. And
Yeah. Everything is good because she just pulls, we have a separate line item in QuickBooks for everything in that, so she pulled it out and sent that in. Everything was good. At first he said your numbers are way off, your budget's not right, and then he realized that he had the wrong transit system pulled up on his computer and was looking at our numbers and none of them matched, and he goes, "Oh wait, that's not the right system." No, you're wrong. Yeah, so you guys are good. So we should, I think for May we were gonna get, or no, the one that we did in May, so April was like 23,000, and then May was 84. We had like 107,000 coming from the last 2 months. So that should cover everything. So,
Okay.
I think we're good on all of that. So I'll get with Michael on the lease. I'll talk to the other ones about the job description and what they do, and then I'll let you know what I find out on that.
Something before I forget, summer feeding program for kids.
Tom Mack stopped in and talked to us about that.
Okay. The Point Mass Marine Pack, 21 lunches on Monday. And it was just the right number for them to work their system out. But I think there's going to be probably plenty of volunteers if
It sounded like it to me.
if it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, well, with this additional SNAP money, this is, whatever, you get your benefits on a credit card, basically a credit card or a debit card from the state. And it's what, $350 for those children that were on reduced lunch and breakfast programs. So that's a pretty big chunk of money.
Yeah.
So those kids are taken care of, and we still believe that there's still some children that are kind of falling through the cracks. Apparently, there's not that many.
Yeah, we
in the
tried.
county. Yes.
Because Tom had stopped over and talked to us about it, and he said he wasn't sure if he needed us, if he was going to have us just like take it and drop in McClure, because I think there was a group that was picking stuff up there.
Could be.
And he wasn't sure if he wanted us to just drop at one central location, or if he wanted us to go and actually drop at each. We're open to either one. Just let us know what you want to do. And
I know there's, all kinds of volunteers in our church, go to the Nazarene Church, and looking for something to do, to give, and there's other people. And because of the way this program is being done, we don't have to follow certain guidelines, which is really honestly the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it is too, at least the kids we know.
We had, it was Monday, we had an update from Ben Hartford at Nazarene Church. He's a great young man.
Yep.
He's really excited about this.
Yeah, he got right away.
And so, church is made up mostly of families your age, and Paul and I are in the top 2% of the oldest women. Seriously, in the church, which makes us feel really, really old. But just the excitement to see them putting this together and fulfilling the need that we do have, and us as government. Okay, what cracks or holes do you need to fill in? If you need transportation, if we have that, we can, and otherwise we just stay back and let it happen.
yeah, because when we talked to Tom, we said, we're open on that, and we have availability, because at that point we had no bus routes going. With the senior center closed and all of the DD facilities closed, the buses have just been sitting. So we told if we need to do something, we're available. So
When speaking of senior center, Penny I don't know if Penny has talked to you. She was talking about, toenail clipping.
we got that started yesterday.
Okay. This is a big deal.
That is a very big deal.
The health, I kind of started to affect your toenails when you get older.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're tough.
I know.
Those clippers that you use to trim horse hooves, sometimes you about need those on, some seniors, they get so thick. Yeah.
We started that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think yesterday was our first day with it, and we had 2 or 3, because Vicki called and said that they were starting it back up, and they had one person, and she set up one of them, and another lady called and set up her appointment, and then we had another one call. So as soon as it started, they were going.
Penny has talked about having some social distancing type activities in the parking lot. So I don't know if, you know, what her plans are. Have you
Demolition derby and.
That sounds like fun.
I was just.
We can get in on it. We're of age. But I don't know if it's going to be necessary to transport some seniors in. It's just gonna need to be very careful. We can't open the senior center yet, it's still under the orders. And honestly, I'm in no hurry to get it open. As long as we can continue to supply food services to those that need it. And there may be, I believe it's in July, there's additional food coming from one of the grocery suppliers out of Toledo. That's homegrown Toledo company. I think they were going to give 2,000 cases of fruits and vegetables a month to the 10 counties in the area office on Aging's region or district. So there will be some that, I think the first week Lucas County, the second week they go to the 3 or 4 counties to the east, and then the third week come
back
here, and the other counties, Williams, Fulton, Defiant, Albany, and Henry. I don't know if Penny will need assistance in distributing that. I just don't know what the plan
Okay,
is.
I'll get her.
Something
Yeah, I'll talk
to keep
to
in
her
mind,
about that.
and maybe she's just planning on people coming to pick it up.
Okay, I'll check with her and see what she
Sure,
wants to do.
when, you know, this stuff comes, I'm afraid we're gonna end up like over at Jeff's Church in Defiance.
End up throwing it away.
They're throwing food away. You know, we have.
It's fresh vegetables and you can only keep them.
You can only keep them for so long.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so.
It's great. And then with Farmers Market, it was on the radio.
Was it?
Farmers Market will be.
Out here?
Out here.
Okay. Good.
Somewhere in the park, and I think it would be great.
Yeah.
People, the seniors.
I'm gonna come up and check it
especially on
out.
that voucher program, to be able just to drive through, oh, there's Tracy, I'll go over here.
Yeah.
Or to their favorite.
Yeah.
To their favorite vendor, or
Yeah.
drive up and.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get with her on that and see. I've been surprised in the last couple of weeks how many seniors we've still had call and say that they didn't know that. They said, is transportation open yet? Are you guys open? We've been here the whole time. And I'm like, I don't know what we could have done. I mean, we put it on the radio, it was in the paper. It's been in the senior newsletter that we've been operating the whole time.
Well, they're watching the rest of the news and everything's shut down, you know,
Yeah.
so.
And also, if they're having some remembering issues, they may have just simply forgotten.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, the only issue that we're having now is we have to ask more questions about doctor's appointments, because some of them are doing it from their car. They're saying, you know, we'll come out to your car and do your blood work in the car, and then you just drive back. Well, you have to tell us that, because if we don't know that that's what you're doing, we may just plan on dropping you off and coming back in a half hour, 40 minutes when you call us. So we have to make sure that we're asking those questions, but we've been able to.
And that's something, even, you know, not to throw an extra thing to do, but even call the clinic or wherever, it's just, you know.
Yeah, we've been checking on that, especially if we know it's some of the, you know, some of our regulars that are more confused when they call in and have issues. We try to make sure we're taking care of that. And we can put that with CTI, you can put that in the reservation notes, so when the driver pulls up there, they know, pull to this door and they're coming out to get you.
When they come out in full PPE and, and look at you through. goggles or something.
They have the full face shields on, They know what they're getting into.
Did you get any face shields?
We've not got shields. We have masks for everybody, and ODOT sent us 55 masks. So we have enough now that we can, and they're the cloth ones, so they're washable. So we were gonna start using them if riders need them, then putting them in the bag, and then we can reuse them after they're sanitized.
Get whatever you can from ODOT, but if you do need some, we've got some mattress company in one of the shipments next door. Tracy's got some.
Yeah.
And there are face shields. If somebody, and it probably wouldn't hurt to have some get enough for each vehicle, because if somebody raises a fuss about can't wear a mask, they can wear a face shield.
Okay, I'll talk to Tracy about getting those. Just to
Or
help.
welding helmet, they can wear them.
Yeah.
Put the little thing up so you can see though, otherwise it's gonna be dangerous,
Yeah, we have I bought containers for each vehicle, so there's a Rubbermaid tote that sits in between the two front seats that we could put all of that in.
Yeah.
So it's covered.
Yeah, and the face shield can be sanitized and
In between.
and reused. I think what we have, that was sent to us from the supply, the national supply, is made by Ford. Doesn't have their emblem on it, but we thought for sure there would be Ford something.
Ford
Yeah.
Yeah, because the filling home just got some of those, didn't they?
Probably.
I think I saw a post that they got some that came from Ford.
So,
They'd probably be
again, on the PPE,
to the mask, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
on the PPE, hit Tracy up.
Yeah, we've been pretty good on everything, so I think we're still set at this point.
Okay, wonderful.
So, should be good.
All right, Brad.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah.
Did you need this back, bud?
No, those are yours.
All right, thank you.
I have extra ones.
Okay.
So I'll let you know on that if I have to get a different one, because we'll have to do a resolution for that one.
Yeah.
Get that,
Yep.
if that one will work, we'll have to get another one. All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mr. George, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee.
That's fine.
We just thought you weren't gonna be here, so.
Wait, damn, you missed one meeting and right away they gotta go.
I think I missed one.
What did I suggest that you do earlier in the week? Or was it texting or calling?
Yeah.
That, on Thursday morning.
Yes. I actually have a little sticky note right on my computer. There you go. Not on my calendar off to the side, which I apparently don't look at sometimes.
That's all.
I actually did that too.
I would forget every appointment I did not.
Well, it saved me the other day. It saved me the other day because I was gonna do a Zoom meeting from home. And my computer, or my emails on here, after so many, it starts deleting them, so there's a whole line of them. I went down. You know, that one got deleted already. That was the invite to go to that. And I couldn't bring it up. My computer at home is so slow, it just takes forever. And the meeting was gonna start, and I thought, well, how in the hell am I gonna go to this meeting? And all of a sudden on my computer, the calendar pops up and says, if you wanna go to this meeting, touch this here. Just as I was wondering, I actually texted him already, I said, send me the connect, this is the invite for that Monday morning. By golly, it popped up there. The calendar is worth something once in a while.
Okay, we have Bob George here from Soil and Water to talk about the 2024 proposed rates for ditch maintenance.
Jeff, I'd just like to say hello. I don't think I've officially met. I would. Oh, yeah, all good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's not what Lisa said.
Yeah. Now at least it's said, yeah.
It's for 20, it's for this year.
Okay, but I must change that.
Yeah, it's for this, it's for what we charge this year.
But tax on.
Tax, that's different. That's when I start coming in at the end of the month. You guys get tired of seeing me. So, yeah, we do this every year, and Jeff, the Soil and Water District's in charge of ditch maintenance in the county, which is over 400 miles of ditches, 200 projects, anything from complete maintenance such as spraying, bank erosion problems, drainage problems, dipping out ditches, We spray for cattails and brush, to some of the larger creeks like South Turkey Foot, North Turkey Foot, which we are just in charge of. At the time it was put on the petition, or the county maintenance just take out log jams, and cut leaning trees and things, try to keep the creek open, more or less.
If the ditches are on maintenance, they have to be on maintenance.
Yes, they've been approved they've been applied and approved through the county commissioners and our soil and water board. We are governed by 5 guys, soil and water board, which it's actually volunteer members that we meet once a month with a meeting, and they approve budgets, they approve our projects, they approve the direction of the soil and water district, and of course ditch maintenance is a huge part of it. So there's 5 of us in the soil and water office. And we also do government programs that promote conservation and nutrient management and things like that. So today I'm here, and every year we approve, because raises and things, you have different hourly rates that you charge, because all the projects that we do, all the ditches, if we do work on that ditch, we charge that ditch. Each ditch has its own fund. So it's a lot to take care of as far as records and things like that, so forth and so on. And then I'll be back in towards the end of the month. We have joint ditches. Of course, ditches just don't end at the county line. We have ditches that we have to approve their assessment, more or less. We set what work has to be done for this year on that ditch. We come up with an assessment, and then that assessment, it's a percentage. I could go on and on. Percentage of the, I'm sorry.
But that's how it goes.
Yeah, percentage of the base. Every landowner that drains that ditch has a base on their maintenance, and that we charge a percentage of that. And you guys approve it, and then of course the other county commissioners will approve it, and then whatever is approved, that will then be collected on people's taxes next year.
Because I don't, being in town, do you guys get assessed any ditch assessments in town?
No, there's nothing in town.
No. So, but when you live out of the country, everybody gets assessed for a ditch, because everybody's water goes someplace.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, where I live, I'm assessed on.
I'm sure you would,
Van
yeah.
Ditch.
Yeah.
So.
We use the river.
I wish I could put that, I wish I could collect assessments on that.
Yeah.
My fund would be fine.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
With these joint ditch meetings, Ohio Revised Code required the commissioners to meet. It alternated between one month Henry County, or 1 year Henry County. Depends on who's the lead on the ditch. Is that correct, Bob?
Yeah, and there's multiple ditches.
Yeah, and so sometimes we go to Wood County for maybe a 5-minute meeting. It takes longer to get there, up to the 4th floor, 5th floor, whatever.
Yeah.
And finally, the state legislature said that we could, as long as it's public meeting, we could do a teleconference, video conference. It sure is. It sure is.
Just
a lot of time.
Oh, my God, yeah, just travel time.
Yeah,
And we got joint ditches with Wood, Putnam, Defiance, and Fulton. So.
And it's allowed us to become much more productive. Helps keep our operating expenses lower.
So as you look at this front page, the hourly rate for field work is actually, if you look down about the middle, just below the middle of the page, it says calculations for field work. And those are my employees, and then that percentage is the percent that they would be spending on field work, which our field work is spraying, talking with contractors, dealing with people, dealing on ditches. And then those rates that you see are the rates, that's also their benefits included in those rates. Over the year, so $32.85. We also have, if we use our trucks, we charge for that. Then we also have a big spray truck, which has a 300-gallon tank on the back, which we use for spraying brush and cattails. Any chainsaw work, an hourly rate for utility vehicle, which is we just have a little gator that we use to seed with. We put a seeder on the back and spin seed on ditches if they need it. So that is the field work, and then, on below that, it says, your 2019 petition ditch rates. If people want to clean a ditch, and we've exhausted all efforts to try and do it privately, which privately means everybody agrees, and everybody's going to pay their share amount. We've worked with them quite a lot in this county with our district. That's something we've kind of brought in, instead of going through the petition route. The petition route is usually more expensive because you have to clean a ditch according to certain regulations and specifications. It's usually 3 times or more compared to just doing it privately and going in and maybe just dipping the bottom of the ditch out. And we've had good success with private dip outs in the county. Hopefully we continue to. I don't really want to go through petition process. It's very lengthy, very time consuming.
It's really time-consuming.
Multiple meetings. My board has to approve it. We have to come in here for hearings. Multiple certified mailings have to go out. It's a process and a half. And then a lot of times if somebody's pissed off, they'll take you to court anyway. They'll appeal it and go to court.
Ditch meetings are not pleasant to go to.
No. Even the private ones, but usually you get their attention when you say, well, you can do this privately, or we can petition, and it'll be 3 or 4 times more. And that usually gets their attention. So then if you look on the second page, it just shows last year's comparison to this year's. The field work is really good. We only went up 36 cents an hour. Then the engineering work, which is the petition, went up quite a bit because I changed some percentages around. I got more involved, the bill's more involved. So that went up, but hopefully we don't have to use that one.
Yeah, right.
And then everything else stayed the same because of gas rates and things like that are good, so.
Okay.
So every year we have to do this because these are what we charge as we do work on people's ditches, and this is the rate that we use. Any questions, guys? Hopefully I explained that well enough.
I can show you some stuff too, Jeff. I've got a plat book in the back there with all the ditches that, well, it probably isn't up to date. My plat book probably isn't up to date.
Probably pretty close.
Here's the 2011 edition.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but mine's got the ditches marked in it. The ditches that are on maintenance.
I don't know that does.
Yeah.
That's what Tom has.
And we need to pass a resolution.
Okay, we do have, I've got a couple things in, Bob, but I want to get this.
Yeah, I got a couple things too.
We have this resolution C is to approve the it's listed on the agenda as 2021, but it's actually 2020 proposed rates that Bob just presented. Would there be a motion?
I will make that motion.
I would second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Just for the record, as people have heard, it's something we do every year, and the rates have not significantly increased. It is public record and would be available to be viewed. So with that said, Christie?
Jeff Meyer,
Yes.
Bob Hoffman,
Yes.
Glenn Miller.
Yes, this resolution has been approved.
Do you want me to go, Glenn, or do you want to go?
Go ahead.
I'm going to kind of update you, first of all, on something that's just come up real quick, then I'm going to talk about H2 Ohio
Okay.
a little bit. I had a call from Kent Sonnenberg, who's on my board, concerned with a poisonous weed along the CSX Railroad going from 10A back into Holgate. The weed is called poisonous hemlock. It's not a good weed. It's actually something that if a kid gets into, he could actually, can't say die from. I'm sure it'd make him very sick. It's also very poisonous to livestock if they would get into it, if it would get into the guy's field. He makes hay or cuts silage, something like that. The ditch is it's not under maintenance, so I don't really have any jurisdiction. I'm just trying to assist with this because the weed actually, you can see it in Holgate.
Oh, really?
What does it look like? Okay, I can probably.
I apologize, I have it on my phone and I didn't bring my phone.
Pull it up on.
Yeah. And you say it's along
the CSX Railroad from 10A back into Holgate.
Okay.
Pull up poisonous hemlock,
Yeah.
just so you see it.
Where's Google there, right there? Is that, no?
No flower on it?
Yes, white flower, yep, that's it right there.
Okay,
And it can get quite large.
okay. I gotta find Google there first.
Down.
Right there, the circle,
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Google Chrome
How
right
big
there.
do they get?
Hmm?
How big do they get?
They're like 8 foot, 10 foot. And that's the problem, that's where they're at right now. They're flowered out,
And it's got a white flower on it?
yeah.
You said?
So anyways, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
To make a long story short, Kent was wondering what we could do. I said, well, we could spray it, and then we got to talking. I think it's too tall to spray. Needs to be mulched, mowed, chopped, whatever. Kent has a deed that his farm's right next to it that says the railroad's to maintain that ditch. I've talked to Tim Shum. I got some calls. Tim called this Rusty Orban, I believe was his name.
Yeah.
And told him about it, and okay, we'll do something. Kent called me this morning, said I called this guy, and he doesn't seem to be, the railroad doesn't seem to want to move real quick. And I said, well, I can give you a contractor that would come in with an excavator with a mulcher on it, and would just take that stuff down. It's not gonna be cheap if you're talking 2 miles of mulching, and I don't know who's gonna pay for it. And the township trustees also are aware of this too, in Pleasant Township.
All right.
And, so.
But it's along the railroad, right?
Yes.
So that would run right, my daughter.
You guys have,
Well, my granddaughter lives on 10A there.
Okay.
Or now on 10A on F, just down from 10A, and the railroad track runs right behind her house. So it's along that ditch back there?
yes. Well, I'm not sure exactly, but I know there is some from 10A to Holgate.
To Holgate, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she lives right down there.
I wonder where else it is.
Yeah, I don't know. But, so we're in the process, so then, we weren't real happy with the response we're getting from the railroad, so I called Jim Hooks this morning.
Okay.
Talked to Jim. Jim immediately got on. Well, he talked to the same guy we talked to.
Rusty Orban?
Yes.
I'll call him too.
And
I get on his ass.
Oh,
I do.
good. Because Rusty told Jim, well, I think we'll spray it. We have a machine that'll go down on the tracks and it'll spray 15 foot up. Well, that ain't gonna do anything.
No, that just gets it past their stone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I told Jim, I said, if you could, would you communicate to him it needs to be mowed or mulched, with a machine.
Yeah.
And then we could work on spraying it.
Yeah.
And then if the township would like, to me, just like the railroad, you can't I just wonder who gets the bill? Somebody's gonna get the bill. The railroad should, but will the railroad pay it and all that?
Oh, yeah, I know.
That's a whole other
We don't want to
animal.
stick one of our local contractors.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Wildlife trust too, with the wildlife. I don't know if there's any kind of funding there.
But, so that's kind of something new that's just come up. I kind of want to let you guys know about that, in case trustees would call you or something like that. And we've done work for the trustees. We'll spray some road ditches that aren't under maintenance. We assist them. So I'm not afraid to go in and spray it and then bill somebody. And to be honest, but I think it's past the spraying, and I don't have any equipment we don't have a mower or a mulcher.
Well, the county does have that arm mower.
I don't know if Tim would, maybe I should go talk to Tim, see if he'd be willing to do it.
Yeah.
They do have an arm mower, that is right.
No, but you're moving on their property,
Correct.
and
Yeah, so,
they don't like people on their property.
I mean, I know this weed it's in southern Ohio and things like that, so it's kind of new to me. I'm not real sure, but, it's,
Okay. I'll call Rusty up, because, of course, sometimes he don't answer the phone. Of course.
yeah, you were on that railroad committee.
Yeah, I was on that railroad, that's how I got to know him.
Yeah,
That's how I
I'm
got to know
sorry.
him.
That's highly popular.
Yes.
Well, I see the last
Causing
time he-
rashes and things like that on children and people, and
Yeah.
so.
Boarworks out here.
Dick?
Dick complained about, some of the stuff along,
Turkey food, or,
Napoleon and Western.
oh,
And, said probably, and I just told him, I said, probably won't get a whole lot of response.
Yeah.
But I said, if one of your booms went over.
Right,
And went down, because I don't know if it was pigweed or what one it
Yeah.
was. One of
Could have
the-
been pigweed.
One of the noxious weeds.
Yes.
That, I've got control of now,
Oh, you did that. I said, what the hell you?
So,
I was gonna say, call IT. This thing doesn't do what I'm telling it to do.
it'd be south of 18.
Yeah.
Correct? Or is it, no, it's maybe
Yeah,
not.
right, well, wait, this is,
Here it is.
Ladies.
yeah, it's Clay, well, no, this is that land where, that's the junkyard.
Yes.
That's our local junkyard there, and
Yeah.
it's down here then. So here's
That's F1.
here's F1, yeah.
Right there it is. It's on.
Right here's the railroad track. Well, here,
Oh, it's right there.
here.
There
Yeah.
it is, yes.
This is my granddaughter's place right here.
Okay.
I just bought that place.
Okay, so it's all along through there.
Yeah, so,
Did you get hold of one, talk to Gwen?
Capers?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
But I would suggest talk to her. Let's at least begin ramping up, and I may send an email to Matt Dietrich at the Ohio Rail Commission.
That, you go that route, I'll go this
I
route.
don't know what.
I just don't want it to be a week late. I mean, the stuff's flowering, so it's gonna go to seed pretty quickly. If we can mulch it down now,
Yeah.
you know, to me is,
Before it gets to seed and get it down.
yes, and
I
then,
don't know if there's room to drive there, if we'd have to drive in those fields.
yeah, I don't know about
With that chop, with the county.
that. Yeah, I know, and then my whole thing too is, I was worried about spraying, because what we spray and it kills that is very toxic to soybeans.
Yeah, yeah.
Then with the wind we've had the last few days.
Yeah, it might not be, well, like you say, spraying the.
Tom's Mangus has a farm.
Yeah, and Tom Mangus is aware of it.
Okay.
Oh, is
Okay,
it?
yeah.
Oh, on both sides, yeah.
Yeah, he's on probably on both sides.
Because actually, yeah, the township is 13 and,
Yeah.
So it was Kevin or Kent?
Kent Sonnenberg.
Yeah, he would be aware of it, he farms along there too. I
He
think.
farms along there, and then he's also very aware of it, because it's very, it could, if a cow would digest it, it'd kill a cow in
Yeah.
a few hours, I guess. So,
And if they milk the cow.
there you go again, yeah. So,
Yes, what is it, is pigweed, yeah, it's pigweed that will adapt, in season.
Well, that was at, Mare's Tail, that
Mare's Tail.
Yeah, Mare's Tail. Yeah, that's right.
Mare's Tail, that stuff.
Jeff will adapt, you can spray it, what did it say, 2,4-12?
Roundup, 2,4-D will burn it down and kill it.
And it'll adapt and come back. And
But I used,
fewer
got a
chemicals
resistance
that-
to
at the greenhouse, I used that, it was a brush spray, I can't think of the name of it right now. I still got
Oxbow?
Oxbow, yeah, I had some of that. That killed it.
Yeah.
That killed Mare's Tail, but I don't know. And it would probably kill this, but it would kill beans too.
Can you burn it?
Not real sure. That's a good question. I don't know if it'd burn as green as it is.
I'll check. Also, I'm gonna be pulling in hydrous tanks today for New Vision. I'll check and see if, Mark Farman, your economist, has seen anything.
Okay. All right. H2 Ohio. I'm just giving a little history on it. H2 Ohio is a program that we're part of ODA. We get money from the county and we get money from the state, but through ODA, Iowa Department of Ag. There was a big push to start a new program to reduce the algae, of course, in the Western Lake Erie watershed. Governor DeWine had pledged millions of dollars to try and do this. We came out with a program February 1st, a 4-year program, started signing farmers up in 14 county area. Then all of a sudden COVID hit. We were told to continue to sign up. First it was to June 2nd, then all of a sudden COVID hit really hard, and we got told put the brakes on it, chop it March 31st. To make a long story short, as far as the sign up, Henry County was awesome.
Yeah.
Our farmers and landowners are very great at volunteering for programs and trying to do the right thing. In the 14 counties, there was and this is a 4-year program, $180 million was signed up. Henry County we were second in the amount of acres at 134,000. We were second in the amount of producers that signed up, 210. We were first in the amount of acres enrolled compared to your percentage of farm ground. We were at almost 60% of the entire farm ground in Henry County was enrolled.
And we're one of the hot counties, I mean, we're right in
We were also, the other thing that I'm proud of as a solar water district is we were the lowest, guys were getting the lowest amount per acre from us. So we were diligent in our sign-up, not just signing people up willy-nilly. Okay, you qualify for all this. And, we followed our guidelines and rules. So as far as the sign-up, I was greatly appreciated the staff and the office, and of course the farmers and landowners that signed up. So all of a sudden, boom, stop. Don't know what's going on. Is there any money at all? Don't know. What about this year? Because the program is supposed to start in 2020. Spring planning, they had some practices that were involved. Just have found out that we are in the process now. We are going to get $50 million, which even that surprises me in today's world. And the program will actually start in 2021. I think there's still a lot to be done yet. They got to come out with new contracts, we do have what guys are going to do, so we got to, of the 210 producers, we got to meet with them by September 1st and get all this, and hopefully this $50 million for 2021 is going to be there, and the guys can get that. 22 and 23, don't know. We'll see down the pike. They've also allowed us, they've given us $60,000 a year for 5 years to hire someone. Our board approved it. I'm not jumping at it quite yet because I want to make sure where this program is going. I don't want somebody to just twiddle their thumbs.
That's right,
I want to make sure that we do need that stuff to do, but it's also kind of hard to turn down $300,000. And they give you that. $300,000. I mean, it's not $60,000 a year. You get $300,000 right now. And there might be something, we're going to talk more about it in our June board meeting, where we're going with that, if we're going to get it out there, if we are going to hire, hopefully we'll know more about the program itself.
The one thing they always talk about at our meetings, when they talk about soil and water, they always say, those are the boots on the ground, those are the guys that are going to go out there and make sure this gets done.
Right.
So that makes me feel good because I was involved in soil and water. I think it's a good, it looks good.
We have a good staff, and we're not a huge staff. I think we get quite a bit done, especially with maintenance and the other things that we are trying to do.
Must be doing something right. I don't hear anything.
No, I haven't had a ditch
If there are
complaint.
problems, we hear about it pretty quickly. Sometimes for government, no news is
Good news,
And when you pick up the phone, the first thing you hear is cuss words, and I wonder if this is a ditch complaint. Or child support,
Well, we'll try to keep it that way. It's an ongoing effort, it really is, and you guys know that.
Oh, it is,
But So that's where H2O Ohio is actually, Bill, my employee, is listening to a conference call right now. And hopefully they start getting some letters to us that we can send out to people and get this recontracting started and get guys in and realize.
I think they'll do it again. I mean, everybody understands why it got stopped.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm surprised there's 50 million left.
I am too, Bob. Yeah, I'm totally surprised.
You know, the governor was behind this.
Oh, big time.
And
He is.
And since it's general revenue fund money, it was only, and he wanted bond money.
Yeah.
Or general revenue money put in a trust fund, sorry to that effect, which makes sense, because that guarantees the money's there.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, here's, okay, it was $80 million, and divided up between 3 agencies, and, you know, let's all go do our thing. In the next biennium, we're running at a budget shortfall.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But if it's in a fund, or if it's laid back, then it's fair.
Yeah. And so I think the governor, he also knows is that, as well as down at the big three, know that if the funding stops, the whole thing to get the ag community back on is going to be extremely difficult.
Correct.
And the only other hammer you have is legislation that
To be declared distressed, which actually goes through the EPA, which would be.
It just opens up a whole can of worms.
Correct.
If we can avoid.
People are much more friendly when you would use the word soil and water instead of EPA.
Yes.
EPA.
When you mention EPA.
Yeah.
Or get real colorful about it, but at the same.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. Any questions on H2O Ohio? I'll keep you informed as I know things happening. And I also, like I said, the board and I will talk about hiring somebody at the next meeting. I think we could utilize a person, not just for this program, but just as far, I think I could even talk to you guys about actually improving and expanding on our social media. And actually, even at the county, if certain people I have in mind that would probably be good, could help even not just us, but maybe the county offices too. Which
is that individual still available?
Yes. Yeah. So, and they're on understanding that, you know, everything is slowed down.
Yeah.
They're continued, but that individual is still available. So.
Whatever cash anybody has, or setting on it just to see what happens. And exactly. Do have a couple. Well, I just added another thing on H2O Ohio. The ag guys that have signed up so far, do most of them already have nutrient management plans, or is that going to be something that's going to take up?
They're going to have to everybody that signs up for this has to go through a nutrient management plan that is through ODA. Okay. And we're actually in our office, we did not want to have that on our shoulders, so we have been talking to the local chemical dealers, fertilizer dealers, and they were looking to do this. We've had a lot of good response before the COVID hit, and I think it'll continue once we know what the program's going to be. I think from Pleasant, from Legacy, from CPS, we've actually even Ridgeville. We've talked about everybody, and I think what they were looking at doing was to charge maybe $1 or $2 an acre to do this program, and some of them have gotten into it, and I think that they would actually, it could be something they could not lose money on. They can run through enough acres through this program per person that they wouldn't be losing money on. But they have to have that new nutrient management plan to get money from us.
Okay.
So everybody will have to fill out our nutrient management plan, and then I guess officially then they have a nutrient management plan.
They more than likely, unless the state has come up with something that, they have most of that information.
If they're doing variable rate soil testing, variable rate application, they're pretty much have a nutrient maintenance plan. It just has to be put into our form. And we don't want them to bring all that information to us when the chemical dealers already have it. We'll send you our program, you fill it in, give it to the producer, and then he brings it in.
You got everything in the same format, so
Yes.
CPS or nutrient, whatever.
It's nutrient, that's my bad.
Yeah, all the tanks are.
Yes.
All changed and all the trucks and,
It changed
and legacy
instantly.
and those.
And Davis Farm Services, we have not done much with them over the years. We've sat down with them, working with them, Ridgeville Elevator we talked with, so, we have a good rapport with the dealers.
And that's, mhm.
Worth a lot.
We actually, even had a meeting with them when all this started, when this got kicked off, we had a meeting with them, the end of January.
Well, yeah, and this is in a sense, a volunteer compliance before it becomes mandatory.
Correct.
Yeah. And it always appeared that, as talking about these plans, here's where the information's at. Here's where the information is if you're putting on too much of any one fertilizer. They know.
Right.
They know.
Right.
But it's some of them getting corporate in their attorneys to cooperate.
Yes.
Do you have any more of those little pocket that you had at,
Yes. I think so.
Yeah.
You want one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're nice.
Okay.
Paper.
Yeah.
What's that? Paper. Yeah. Oh, another only. It's really difficult to run through copyright. And it takes lots of sheets to make it 8.5 by 11. A strip till machine that Paul Martin and Sons did, is that being used? That was in, who had that, Defiance County, or was it
Putnam. I don't really, it had difficulty last year. They didn't cover the acres they want to. That's why I don't like soil and water districts handling that. Because you're depending on soil and water employee to do it, to work. You can't just run it to a guy and show him everything how to run it. You also got to have people tending the fertilizer. That's like when we did it, I don't know, I've done so many programs. We had a Healthy Lake program that we ran through Legacy, and Legacy and they pushed it. They ran like 4,200 acres through one fall. The next fall, they got 500 acres because of weather. So it's so weather related, and that's why I kind of like the Date Jewel Howe program. If you were a big farmer and you saw this money, you could actually utilize this money to buy a piece of equipment. And we actually had a couple guys. I know one guy did go out and buy it, and I kind of feel for him, but he actually has told me this is actually helping me. It's saving me money. So
You mean
the strip till? Yeah, the strip till or the variable rate, variable rate placement applicators.
Variable rate will save money.
Some guys have put the VRT also on their planner.
Yeah.
That's also, and that's what this program was. It wasn't an equipment, actual per se program, but enough money was paid to some of these larger guys that they could go out and afford to make that purchase.
And even if there isn't money,
Yeah.
the return, that one guy that's involved in the Blanchard demonstration.
Yeah, he's the one that told us that, yeah.
They farmed the 5,000 acres.
Yes.
He and his son, but it saved them
$400,000
the first year. So they've got a 24-inch toolbar or 24 row.
Right, 24 row.
And you gotta have a big horse sitting on the front of it. Yeah.
So, but I know Putnam, they got a grant for that. They actually purchased the equipment, but they've had trouble running acres through it getting acres.
I wonder.
That's not something you can run out and hook up to another tracker. Once you got a tracker on that with your computer and everything set up, that's the one that should be one piece of equipment right there.
And one guy, it is, and that's how they run it, but, and then it's hard to say, okay, John Smith, get up here, I'm gonna show you how to run this.
Yeah.
And then if you're not a dealer, fertilizer dealer, you need somebody to tend that machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
with fertilizer, so you gotta make sure that's all coordinated.
Yeah.
Where when I ran it through Legacy,
They did
that's what they do, that's their business.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of success that way.
Yeah, I think.
And, actually, they've still got a few more acres through that grant they have to do, but they haven't been able to, the last 2 falls.
Yeah.
Not been good.
It's tough.
Not been good to strip till.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are, I just don't see the benefit, the cost-benefit ratio as far as soil and water holding that. Now, as far as ditch maintenance, I'd love to purchase a new sprayer, about $250,000 sprayer, but I don't know about that too. There are companies out there that do that.
Yeah.
So do you hire them, or do we purchase a $250,000 sprayer? It's a 4-wheel drive, can run down the road, what do they call them, Versalinks, or?
Yeah, I know what they do. I know.
Like, go like 40, 45 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah, they look.
And it's got multiple tanks on it, and you can run, and it's all enclosed, so the guy that's spraying is protected. Right now, we're on the back of a truck, and.
Then you can inject whatever chemical.
Yeah, you've got different.
Right into the flow, so whatever, if water.
If we wanna buy something, that's where I'm looking, the soil and water district, maybe buy something, and then you back charge the ditch maintenance.
Well, yeah.
But, or was it better just to hire a private business?
Yeah.
That's something, you sit down and start running the pump.
And I've actually hired some spraying done by a guy up to the north, he's done some spraying up in the.
Does he have a unit like that then?
No, he's actually just got a side-by-side and a tank, and he's willing to spray, so.
Yeah.
And he's actually, with that, sometimes that's easier to get to, with that piece of machinery. And I've seen his work, and he actually just did some work for us last year, and it looks like he did a pretty good job for us.
Okay, good. Well, I think that's.
I'll ask you one more question.
Okay.
Budget.
This is June, isn't it? That's coming up.
Well, I thought about it last night, and let's don't worry about it till August.
I know last year we did put it off till about.
It was late.
It was late last year, yeah.
And the process went pretty quick.
It did go pretty good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to dig that out pretty soon though. Start looking at it,
But the sales tax is actually, or is that, I know you also get money from the state, which could be really.
The normal sales tax that you would pay in a retail establishment was off in April 3%.
Okay.
The automotive sales tax was off 52%.
Yeah.
So we should be getting an update from the tax commission here shortly for May.
Yeah.
And it will give us an idea. But now we're coming into a time, things have started to open back up, and
Car sales, I think, Estos said there in Hammer that they were closed for a week. They had told Jeff this, and then Jeff told me this, and he said, but when they opened up, they went crazy. They were selling a lot of cars the next week. So, if that held up or not, of course, I don't know,
But we're anticipating, our sales tax revenue this year will be off 20%.
So you thinking that could be just what's gonna happen to everybody's budget?
I don't know.
I think it's too soon to say.
I understand that.
My opinion is we would have to look at, depending on how things continue to go, whether there would be, wage increases. For me, it's better to keep health insurance. If there's some increase in health insurance costs, it's better to keep the health insurance and possibly forego.
I've already told my staff.
A wage.
I told my staff already, don't expect,
Yeah.
if you get something that's just, syrup on top of the ice cream right now.
Yeah.
So right now, Bob, it's too soon to tell. The state of Ohio has a better feel for where they're at because they have all the information. That sometimes we don't get, and we fought real hard just to get preliminary tax information.
Yeah. See, because the one that you see in the paper, that's for 3 months ago, so we had a couple of increases there, and that was for the.
That actually wasn't, that was before the fall hit.
It's the next one that comes out.
But the only thing I will remind, and I'm just toot my own horn, you know, I have not asked for,
Yeah, I know.
for an increase in many, many years.
Yeah.
Been able to.
Yeah.
So just,
Keep that in mind. It's duly noted, it is on the record. And interest relation, and we've had a great working relationship.
yes, we have, and it has been great, so.
Yeah.
So, the last conversation, and it's been a few weeks since we've talked with Kevin Geringer, but, he felt at the time, at our last conversation, is that it's really too soon to
Yeah.
make any kind of call. But, I would say we are in a decent cash position. We're only doing what we deem as, emergency repairs.
Yeah, we're kind of holding back on the,
Yeah.
on the courthouse a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
We were gonna dump a chunk in there this year, and we were okay on that, but.
Yeah, now it's back on.
We're backing down a little bit, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And we chose not to lay or furlough anyone.
Yeah.
And
One thing that, and I think the county employees, I hope they realize, nobody got laid off. They all got paid their full rate.
Yeah.
Some of them, and a lot of them weren't home. We're getting paid.
Yeah, I know.
Maintain their health insurance.
I know, I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
we kind of did that, we kind of got back started a little earlier full-time. But we were also able to, during that whole time, we seeded 130 acres of CRP, and
Yeah.
we were able to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried to get things done that needed to be done.
Yeah.
You know, and still keep the office open.
Yeah.
And social distance and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that too, the ones that did stay on and the ones that did work. I mean, we had people that had to stay, had to keep working, and they did what they had to do, and, you know, and we had people that took time off, you know, so.
The courts had to stay open
Yeah.
because there's certain of our citizens that have these constitutional rights that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a criminal, you have a.
You got it right.
Yeah, and
It's a shame that that's the way it is.
Yes, exactly. You know, we had a fragile population to protect, and also it ends up, also those criminals are the population we have to protect.
Correct.
Over and above everybody else. Okay, now, that's what I did Monday, political planning, Thursday, that's enough. So, again, thank you.
Did that get around?
One that we signed?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, I put it right down here on the bottom, yeah.
We were in Deshler last Thursday with Donnell.
Oh, were you?
Well, and we did the two, I hadn't been in the church ever, and so we all.
Oh, you went
to the
Church, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We stayed out of the bell tower.
Yeah, we didn't go up there. Donnell rang the bell, let's just make sure we're still up there. See somebody steal it.
I thought, I'm gonna stand inside the main part of the sanctuary, and just in case we start hearing some creaking, pull that rope, I don't know.
That's one building that's gonna come down, that's in bad shape.
Yeah, it is.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it is, I mean.
And then, of course, you know, the towns, we appreciate what support we can get. I do.
You know, Donnell said, you know, as he stood there, he said, there were some very prominent Dashland people that attended this church over the years, you know, and it's too bad that it went kaput, but.
And then the guy buys it and tears out the
Yeah.
glass stained windows.
And you know where they're at? A lot of them are inside yet, they're in there. I assume those were gone a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought he was taking them.
Yeah, there's some of them, there's a bunch of them in there. I don't know how many were sitting against that wall. What do you guys think? 4, 5, 6 of them were sitting in there?
plus the one in back.
Yeah.
You know, still
Still in
intact. Their needs inside were all intact. There's some that have gone. I think they've gone to,
People that had bought them, some of the
Yeah.
church members had bought some of the,
because they.
I thought that guy took them and sold them. The guy that owned it, apparently.
well, he said some of them had, actually, there's one in there that's got a name on it.
Yeah.
And he said, we don't know who that is, so he can't find it. So he said, the guy that bought the building is gonna take those windows, he said, part of getting him to hand it over.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't pay his taxes either, so. Yeah. We don't like, people like that.
We looked at the reservoir, which is a great project.
Yeah, that's nice.
Often when I come through Dashler, I usually just go over there, walk up, and.
Take a look.
Sometimes he takes his car in there and then drives right down that hill.
Did you notice I have a different car?
Yeah.
No, I am not.
Did you see that, what happened here?
Yeah, well,
Rolled down hit the bathroom.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
I know. I didn't know if it was him or not.
Yeah, I rumors, you know, I don't know.
We were sitting in the parking area
Yeah.
at the time, and when we went to go on to our next stop, I said, okay, should we try the bank? You know, there before I was Donnell and the three commissioners.
Yeah.
Corporation.
Actually, knocking the rest of the way down. Jeez.
Yeah. Can't keep anything.
Showed Jeff the car and
Yeah.
Well, there have been good improvements made there.
the change in the Clarkson's building on the south.
Oh, my gosh.
That's really impressive.
Donnell said, before we got up to it, he said, you will be amazed. My goodness, as tacky as that can be.
I know.
Just.
I know. Little things like that.
Oh, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. And being on council just amazes me the amount of complaints you get on certain things, which people aren't informed. You know, some people complain about Donnell. What's he doing? I said, you'd be amazed
Oh, man.
what he does. I mean, I can sit there and rattle off the grants and the amount of dollars that he's brought into Deshler and the amount of projects that he's done that wouldn't have gotten done without Donnell.
You know,
The reservoir.
Here, hang on a second, I'm gonna show you, stay there, it's just a
That
second.
downtown,
Oh.
not have the.
My gosh, how much that, I mean, the downtown would be,
Everybody that
Yeah.
to get to participate multiple times.
and so then we do all that work in the reservoir, right? And you remember the reservoir before they did all that work?
Oh, yeah.
So I get complaints, there's no trees out there.
This is something we get from Mormon Valley Planning every 2 years for our CDBG money,
Yes.
the allocation money, and every city is listed on here, all the townships are listed
Yep.
on here, and look at Dashler since 2014.
Oh, my gosh.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
And that's some big numbers.
Yeah,
And
that is.
that all went into the village of and that's because of Donnell.
Yes, I know.
He's the guy that's been here and.
I know.
Yeah.
This church project, when you go through, Donnell's done his homework. And we know, and I know he does it. When he says, okay, I've got this, here, let me talk to you about this project.
Yeah.
And he's already got it through his mind.
Yeah.
And then, you know, is there any way, any ideas on funding? And I've been back and forth with him on different things. But the way this was put together for that church, the asbestos was done. There's a plan on how to pay the $300 or $400 to get once the county approves, taking the deed in lieu of taxes, who pays the fees for the land bank to get it. It's all in place.
Yeah.
You know, that's a model. I'll finish it.
he's really
The
good.
asbestos survey has been done.
Yeah.
And so it's,
Yeah.
can you write me a check? It's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
No, I think he's done, I think he's
Yes, he's
over the
worth
other.
his weight in gold, for sure.
Yes, he is, yeah.
Really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just,
He's a really, yep.
he loves his community.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things he's disappointed in is the school.
Yes.
He is really hoping that there would be
Something could happen there, yeah.
some money to be able to.
To keep
do
that. Yeah, that's gotta be near and dear to his heart, I understand that.
It is, yeah, and it was. He and I talked about it, went through it a couple times.
Yeah.
With him, just so he could But, Lori with the library,
We stopped there and talked to her.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The landscaping on the north side of the library.
Libraries, I use it, I utilize it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
When I was going to door, I utilized it.
Yeah.
As a conversation. Oh, you know. They sit back in their office corner. Oh, you're not here to really see us, are you? No.
Yeah.
But, it was, talking with Lori is that library is a real key, really important to the community.
It is.
Oh, I think it is.
Very important to the community. It gives people who do not have good access to the internet.
Correct.
Have access to the internet.
You know, I wanted to do a little research that one day, and this is, well, it was last fall. I went to the library in Holgate, and there was like 3 people in there. There was me, one other person was checking out a book, and then I went way in the back, because I found the book I wanted to look at, and I'm gonna sit in here and read for a couple hours, and they had really nice chairs. So I sat down, it was very comfortable, and there was a lady in there on the internet. She was way over there. I thought, what she was doing over there? So I looked, she had a laptop in her, and she was going at, she was researching something, you know,
Right.
very, very diligent.
Very valuable
Yeah.
asset to the community.
Yeah.
So it's
It would
important.
have been, had not been able to keep the library there, it would have been devastating to the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, it was bad enough losing our schools. It happens,
Yep,
you know.
exactly.
They're all gone, all 3 of them.
And there wouldn't have been access to, the PH library.
Right.
Yeah.
We're a good public access.
Right. Oh, no,
Because
not a
of
problem.
The security concerns.
Yeah.
Well, and location too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, when I go in there to get a book or something, a lot of times there's kids in there on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
They probably don't have access to the internet at
Oh,
home.
man. And actually, that was one of the plans we had, if this went on too long, how can people access the internet if the libraries are supposed to go out, turn it on so they can pull up in the parking lot and
Right.
sit in their cars and
About
access.
setting,
That makes
once it
sense.
started to kind of warm up,
Right.
set ten up out here, get some picnic tables, and then, extend our Wi-Fi out for
Right.
a little more power bandwidth,
Right.
Yeah.
and even do the same thing at the courthouse.
Yeah.
But, that kind of.
But the library-
The one order kind of
Yeah.
took care of itself, and then
Yeah.
the school being done,
There's a reason
and
to,
then there, Spectrum was offering
Free.
the communities that they were in for at least through the school, the rest of the school year, free,
Yeah.
internet.
right.
Okay, Bob?
Okay, thanks, guys. Nice meeting you. Yep.
It was good to see you.
Good to see you.
I asked,
Oh, yeah.
you're the village clerk over there in Desch.
Yes.
When we walked in, I said, well, how's your neighbor? She said, I just basically keep her thumb on you. She said, Duke is getting to go back to work.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, good for
I
you.
said, well, who's the most, we could tell, Lisa was pretty excited.
I think Duke is too.
Yeah, good.
I talk to him, now and then, outside, he'll be walking or I'll be walking,
Mhm.
run into him. So I know he's,
Well, it's been for weeks, he's wanted to go back.
yes.
Yeah, that was a tough road to hoe for that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, see ya.
We'll be in touch about joint issues and stuff.
Okay.
Sounds good.
To step away to, restrooms, so why don't we?
Okay, yeah, we gotta go back.
Last night, there were no budget adjustments.
I don't know if there are or not, I'll look it up right now. So that's what, right there's what poison hemlock looks like. I'm
I've
over.
got upper right, or upper left hand,
This is
I've
what,
got up there to the very far left. Seems like I've seen those around everywhere.
that,
Yeah, they look like a white,
they look almost like, well, they're comparing them to a wild carrot, see here? So, a wild carrot flower, or what I call Queen Anne's lace.
Okay, that's what's common around here.
Yeah, there's a lot of Queen Anne's lace around here.
Okay, so it's different.
Yeah, it's different than that, I know that. But I never knew what That's why I wanted to bring a picture, what does Hemlock
reading
look
about
like?
it,
Huh?
it can kill animals, it can kill.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been working along my creek over there, doing different bank stabilization projects, and I see stuff that looks like that, and I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering if some of it, I know some of it must be poison, and some of it must not be. Wow. Okay, learn something every day.
About 80%.
Yeah.
Today?
Now it's saying
Huh?
16%.
Oh, geez.
Might be up to 90.
Tonight, I think, Maureen, we got a softball game tonight.
Really?
Yep, my granddaughter, they're playing softball, and, we gotta go to the city of Nay.
I didn't know when I started up softball.
It's not their, school,
Traveling.
it's like a, it's a league, they've been in this league for quite a while already, I mean, since she's like in the third grade.
What was it, last weekend, we had a softball tournament here in town or something? Or down at, was it Riverview Park?
Oh, yeah?
In Goostown.
Oh, I did not know that.
We'll go to budget adjustments there are no budget adjustments.
Okay, well, let the record reflect that there's no budget adjustments.
And then we'll go
Just
to,
a resolution to that effect.
then and now. There's the then and now.
Well, answer for the renovations of CIC. We get paid from, I don't know if she should get it from the Hot Center or.
What's the budget like?
Jeff, did you look at these payments?
I did.
Is there anything
I
out of
didn't
it?
see anything.
Okay.
I did, I went through them last night, unless there's been some additional.
I just did this today, I kind of rolled down through them, I didn't open any of them, but if you guys looked at them, then
Yeah, I like that one, Dodge Holland.
That
was.
because I was looking at that right there.
I was thinking, you're doing exactly what I was doing.
On down through there, yeah.
That's a code word.
Scrolling, yeah, scrolling, yeah. In case you don't know, we talking code around here.
Okay, would there be a motion to approve then and now?
I will make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, Christie?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Bob Hoskins?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes, then and now have been approved. And we have approved resolution C, which was the, rates for ditch maintenance and so forth. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Christie, do you have anything else for us?
No, just, didn't know, wanted to pay that out of capital or. I mean, I guess.
Was this one B? Resolution B? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We don't take it.
Well, I don't know what's in Han Center. We do have, well, we can't use it as a capital courthouse improvement. That's the only capital money we have. Because that is for the courthouse.
There's not a permission.
Well, since they weren't in any hurry to get the bill out, there shouldn't be in any hurry. You know, we want to pay them as soon as we can.
Well, I think she said that she mailed it, we never got it. Back in
What was it?
April.
Okay.
Just,
Have Anna get us what's the unencumbered balance of Han Center maintenance. And the only, like I said, the only capital money I see is for capital improvement is for the courthouse. At least in this statement.
Well, I know we've used it, like lights out here and different stuff.
We didn't use for the, but this was the one that was specifically for the courthouse.
I think they only have one capital line.
Is that what you were doing this morning when I came in? You were looking at them?
We have a capital 4060 capital projects fund. We have two. And the capital courthouse improvement is 4030.
What's the 4060? How much is in there?
Zero. It's called capital projects fund.
Hello?
There was at one time $417,000, but it came in and it went out. And there's no date. And this is current as of May 31. So that, since it's in and out, it has a zero balance, that won't have change. But the capital courthouse improvement, and that's where some years ago, we put, I don't know, $300,000 or $400,000 in to be used particularly for the courthouse. It has and there's no, we spent $16,000 for something. But it has an unexpended balance of $177,000. But that has, if I remember right, it's set up just for the courthouse. So I remember talking about it, that we were afraid that it was just a capital, that the money would be gone, and we wanted to do something at the courthouse. Then and that 40, I think it's 4060.
Maybe that's what we paid that out of. I don't know if it was the capital one that we paid. Get the lighting out here. If I remember correctly.
We may need to do a budget adjustment for capital improvement, which would be that 4060 line.
Okay. Well,
Or just budget adjustment go through maintenance. Technically, it is a capital improvement, but it can go through maintenance. If going through maintenance is like expensive in the private sector. Yeah, just let us know. Send us an email. That's right. Anything else? Jeff?
I can't think of a single thing.
Nary a thing?
No, sir.
Not all bad.
No news is good news, is it?
No news is good news, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I feel good because it's just a comfortable feeling in spite of all the things that are happening around us. And maybe it's because of the other things that happen around us, things that kind of just been quiet.
Mark was over yesterday looking for improvement. Anything going on? All good news, saying immunizations were one of the highest level stuff in the street. Still good looking. I go, wow.
Who said that?
There is no eagle at the party.
Mark Adams? Yeah.
Should we cut the doors a little bit bigger for your head?
He came in for, when I was over to get coffee, the first time, he came in, and I was talking to Tracy, I said, officer on deck, and Mark just kept right on going, he said, I haven't heard that, I think he retired as lieutenant commander.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So,
How many years was he in?
I don't know.
He has to be at least 20 to retire, right?
Yeah. He, well, actually, he was in the National Guard, so I think that's
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yeah, not National Guard, Coast Guard, yeah.
So he didn't trace it, no shit.
Tim Richards is a Coast Guard.
Actually, he said,
Tim Richards.
Tim what? Really? Okay, that's good to know.
Tim was what?
I think he was a Coast Guard.
Tim who?
Richards.
Wyoming.
Yeah, the deputy.
Oh, he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Coast Guard?
I know, right?
Hey, and he's afraid of water.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Okay, Bob, do you have anything?
No. No, I can't think of anything right now. What is this?
There's a webinar tomorrow on the CARES Act. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, are you gonna be on it, Jeff? You don't have to be. If you say no, I know Christie is.
On the CARES Act tomorrow?
Yeah.
About funding and how it works.
Yeah, John Honick from CCAO is leading it.
Okay.
So I don't know if he has any information that would typically, let me do something like this, we already have the information.
Well, yeah.
And we've got Mr.
Know-it-all over next door.
Yeah.
He does, but he does know a lot about it. I mean, I say it tongue in cheek, but he does.
Often he knows more about how the grant works than people are in charge of it.
Yeah.
And he has to educate.
But, are you gonna listen to it, you say?
No,
Okay.
I ain't telling you after. You gotta listen to it yourself.
I will not, I won't be there.
Okay. I was just curious.
If I listen to it, I'll be listening to it.
You can do it here and.
No, I thought even
On the
if
big
I read
screen.
some information on it.
Yeah, there might be something, yeah. Well, I would appreciate it if you listened to it, but I wouldn't have to. Oh, good. I don't know why the hell they do them on 1 o'clock on Friday.
It looks like here one.
They're trying.
Huh? They what?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Only when we're not.
yeah.
Yeah, CCO's timing here lately on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
as good.
I don't
Not
know.
at all. But I don't have any suggestions on how to do it.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. My opinion is it's Friday, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Are they doing this and they're all sitting around drinking up there? I mean.
Well, they're not even, most of them aren't even in the building.
Yeah,
They're all typically working from home.
they're having margaritas already then.
Oh, yeah.
My wife.
Yeah, or something. The course of training, looks like we're required to take the course of training this time around, 1 hour and 45 minutes. I don't know, 20 hours. It's, one of the better presenters on some of this, HR stuff and different things was Frank Hatfield. And he worked for one of the larger attorney firms in, Columbus.
He's a pretty good guy.
Of course, I hired him. This guy is a hoot. But we've had other attorneys that are, talking about this legal stuff that actually makes, some of these real dry type presentations, makes them fun. So we are required to receive, our incentive, which might be $3,000 or something.
That's more than that, isn't it?
Is it 5?
I wanna say.
But that's the one we have to have 80% of our,
Elected officials.
officials.
so we gotta send out something to them, or can you
You
send
got
out?
my email yesterday?
Yeah, I got it.
I haven't read it yet.
We have to register for that, right?
He just pulled me.
I think so. I think we should take care of that. But I'm trying to put just a little something on that in order to get the.
I think we probably have to individually.
I think it's all online now.
Yeah, I think they're using WebEx.
When is it?
June
June 15th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, and speaking of that, I might be leaving that week for a couple of days, so.
Yeah.
June 15th?
Well, I'm gonna be around for the 15th yet.
1 p.m.
What time he's leaving?
Yeah, I'm leaving at 5.
What day is that?
If it's about,
Monday.
Monday.
when, one of the things when Tom was here, Jeff, when Bob announced that he was going on vacation, then Tom and I would start having our conversation.
Yeah. How they gonna
Looks
screw
like
me?
it's just gonna be you and me.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
Okay, that, I think that does it for me. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
A second.
Okay, Christie?
Jeff,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes. We are adjourned at 11:16 a.m.
That's